Big up, everyone, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. I'm your host, Jarvis Cocker, and today I'm alone, but hopefully someone will join up because I sent the link to a couple of guys. So don't worry, you won't be stuck with just old Jarvis. Yes, we played against Everton away in Goodison Park. It looked bad in the beginning. We struggled really hard through the game, but luckily, we scored a couple of goals at the end, so we at least got a draw from the game. But 2-2 against Everton away. I want to go to the match stats. Let's have a look on the facts of the game. So here you go. Let's see. It's foot mob, and if you look at this is the momentum of the game. You see that Everton were in control up until the 70th minute. You see here, then they scored their goal in the 19th minute, and the second goal there with Ugarte in the 33rd minute, and they were having the momentum and pressing. We had a couple of small chances on our way. Second half started, Everton continued their press. And they were dominating most through up until I would say about the 17th minute when Amorims did a couple of subs. We put on Obi Martin, we put on Garnacho. Everton were trying to secure the victory, and we pushed on, and we got a goal. You see here in this momentum, maybe I can enhance it a little bit for you guys. Maybe it will be easier for you to see. Okay. Yeah. So you see here in the 72nd minute of the game, we had a who was it? Was it a corner kick? And yes, and we scored and in the 80th minute to Bruno on that free kick. And we had the momentum at the end of the game. We were pushed on, but we could have lost it at the end. We all saw that penalty situation, but good for us. VAR intervened, and the goal was disallowed because there was an obvious dive, in my opinion, from Ashley Young. We have someone coming on the show. He's a new arriver, hasn't been on the show before, but you probably know him if you are into tactics. It's Semik's Football. So welcome to the stage, buddy. How you doing?
Hi. Good morning. Well, good morning for me. 6:30, 7 a.m. now.
Oh, it must be terrible. How so did you get up this morning? Did you fall asleep in the second half, or
no? 4 a.m. I got up, made some coffee, sat down, watched the game. Man, after the first half, I wanted to go back to sleep, let me tell you, but I stuck around, and I'm glad I did. The second half was much better than the first half, for sure.
Yes, 100%. It was. Before we go on to the tactical board, and we can talk a little bit about the formation, how we set up the team, how Everton set up, and what happened. And after that, we will come to some footage and look at some clips. I want to say hi to the Tactical Devils live chat, the Devilish Tacticos. We have Danny B is in the house. Big up Danny B. Madhouse comes in and say, saved by the bell. J United, hey everyone, big up Jarvis, smash the like everyone and retweet the show. Yes, that's very important. People, smash that like. If you haven't, smash the like. We need all the help we can get. We're an up and coming channel trying to grow. So we can, if you can take time and smash that like, it will be really helpful. We have Elite Baller in the house. He say Ugarte, you legend, man of the match. Very happy with Ugarte, and also Elite Baller reminding everybody to smash the like. We have MUFC 14 coming in. Dave 147, Stephanie Griffith, Lowly Lola is here. Big up Lowly Lola, good to see you. Trevor Wade is here. Eduardo Box. So many people, I can't read out all your names. Bath Time. Yeah. And we have already 20 likes, 20 people watching, so or 37 people watching right now. So smash that like. Yes, I want to go to the tactical board, and Sabix, we can talk a little bit about the game. So how did you see us setting up the team today? We had something wrong with this. We didn't play with Euro. We played with the Ligt on the left wide centre back. So this is basically our team. We set up the Ligt, Maguire, Masraoui back three. Dorgu and Dalot on the wing backs, Ugarte and Casemiro in the two sitting midfielders. We had Bruno and Xerxes in the 10s and Højlund up front. Not any big surprises, would you say?
No. I was a little bit surprised to see Ugarte and Casemiro playing at the same time. There was, maybe it's because it was 4:15 a.m. when I found out, but I was a little bit surprised that he played both at the same time. I don't know if I like that decision. I have to watch the game again to decide, because I just felt like Everton I always knew Everton were going to come out with a lot of speed, a lot of physicality, and a lot of just pressure.
Mm.
And I didn't like Casemiro in a lot of situations there in the first half, especially in the first half.
Mm.
How did you feel about Casemiro?
Yeah,
And
I think you're right, because I feel that he's not up to the pace of the Premier League. He looks a little sluggish in his movement. It takes him half a second extra to react into a situation and then read the game. So I think he's been out of football for a long time, and it shows. But also when it comes to the tactical, you see, I've set up Everton's team here, and what's his name, Guehi and Garner and Ducore, especially Ducore. He was everywhere, like the extra spare man. So they overloaded our central area, and I don't think Bruno really helped much. So we were in a way stuck. I think Casemiro and Ugarte didn't have much time on the ball because Ducore was everywhere, and they had Garner and Guehi shielding and securing the second ball. So it looked like Everton were up to it. They were more aggressive, and they were winning most of the duels, especially in the central areas.
yeah, 100%. I felt like this was if anything, if nothing else, I feel like this game, especially the first 30 to 40 minutes, is a blueprint that Ineos and the guys in the footballing department have to look at to realize what Ruben Amorim keeps saying when he says we need more physicality.
Yeah.
This was exactly why. Games like this in the Premier League, where Maguire playing a high line got caught out a couple of times, Casemiro a little bit slow, Xerxes, who I like Xerxes, but the game was a little bit too fast for him.
Yes, I agree.
This game needs to be one of the games or the reasons why they formulate their recruitment strategy this summer.
Yeah, I think you're right. We need new players that fits the system, and I like Ugarte when it comes to the central area. I think he has the mobility and aggression needed. Maybe he needs to improve a little bit. He needs more help from more of a creating midfielder beside him, so he can be the destroyer. But and that's why I think Ugarte and Casemiro is a little bit of a mismatch. If it was up to me, I said yesterday on the show I would have played Lenny Yoro on the left side, and I would have played. Actually, I said I would have played Dalot, and the reason why is because I would like them if we play with the double pivot, we will have a defensive triangle here, and both of these guys could intervene, help, and be aggressive, fight, and be part of the midfield battle in a way. So, but I felt we were a little bit sluggish, and especially, I will show you on the clips later, I think the Ligt had a really poor game, and so did actually Masraoui. I don't think none of them played really well, and they were on the back foot. They were stressed. They weren't composed enough under pressure, and it made Everton put constant pressure and win the second balls all the time. Do you think we have a issue with the wide centre backs at the moment?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's a very good assessment there. And my problem is actually I don't think Mazraoui's had a good game for like the last month.
Yes.
The Ligt has got good moments and bad moments in every game. So yes, exactly. Yoro not starting was a little confusing to me. Maybe he's not fully fit. There's maybe a knock from training or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, because Euro has been really good the last couple of times we've seen him. I'm not sure about that decision, but I'm not going to pretend I know what's going on in training and why he's choosing.
Nah, yeah. That's the sensible approach. But we can only talk about what we see in the game. So I agree on that. But for me, I was really surprised that Euro didn't start. I think Euro did really well when he came on. He gave us a different dimension and is more composed under pressure, so it's easier for us to play ourselves out from the back. And we found Ugarte much easier, even Xerxes, because he's the link-up player. And I think Euro had an impact on the game. So yeah, I think he's really good. And yeah, maybe he's been out with illness and not 100%, and that's why Amorim chose as he did. But if he wasn't injured, I think it's a strange decision from Amorim.
Yeah, I think Euro will be a consistent starter next season. I think Amorim likes Mazraoui's technicality, but unfortunately, without the ball, he's been costing us.
Yes. Roshmano comes in, one of our chief moderators comes in and say Casemiro shouldn't play for us again.
Yeah, but I said that too in the beginning. I said I was confused, but I did sit down for some of the moments of the game and thought about who on the bench would I put instead of Casemiro if he wanted to set an example for Garnacho and not start Garnacho. I think there was a reason why Garnacho didn't start. I'm not sure what it is. Of course, none of us know, but I think we all know that he is one of the most talented players on the ball that we have. So if Amorim is deciding not to start him, there must be a reason.
Yeah.
So that meaning Bruno was going to play the inside 10 if Garnacho is not going to. So who other than Casemiro, if you're not playing Garnacho, are you going to put in there today?
Yeah.
Sekou Kone? No, not yet. I don't know. This is the problem. The problem is that the chess pieces are not all there.
Yes. I think you're right. And I just want to talk a little bit. We'll just bring up the tactical board again, add it to the stage. And I'm just going to remove the comments so you all can see. Maybe I can try to enhance it a little bit. It will be better. Let's see. No, it's not better. I have to bring it down a little bit again. So here we go. So I think, what can you say about Everton? Because they were really aggressive and we knew they would come out firing right away. And the way they pressed, the way Doucouré, he was everywhere. And I think also, I would say the Ligt and Dorgu struggled a little bit with the movement of Lindstrom going in and pushing out again. So Dorgu and the Ligt were a little bit insecure, and Lindstrom, he forced in a way with O'Brien and Garner and Doucouré, all of them overloading this side. And it forced the Ligt to go and defend in the wide areas with the right foot on the left side. And it didn't suit the Ligt really well. And he looked bad when we were able to intercept the ball and we misplaced the pass and were constantly under pressure and we couldn't find an escape, couldn't find a way out. Did you see the struggles with the Ligt and even Dorgu?
Yeah. But again, I thought the struggles for me were normal because of what you just pointed out. The numbers were on Everton's side. They always had one extra player than we had. There was always space for one of them. And by the time that person gets the ball and then we're rushing over there, it's really easy to dribble past or make a touch in the opposite direction where our defender's momentum is going. Like if our defender's momentum is going to the right really hard, like the Ligt is running towards Doucouré really hard.
Yes.
Doucouré can easily make a touch back to the left or pass it back to Lindstrom. I don't know how to say their names, but
yeah, Lindstrom, yes.
Yeah, and then don't underestimate Beto's aggressiveness and movement that's making everybody worry about what's happening behind them.
Yes. Yeah, he was really good. Like, he always kept us running diagonal runs and he's massive, so he's always a target point. So
there were times where Maguire looked like a small man next to Beto, right?
Yes.
Especially, yeah, and other defenders like the Ligt, who's very experienced, he knows he has to kind of cheat towards Beto a little bit just to help Maguire if the ball goes there, which makes him late to go help Dorgu out wide.
Yeah.
It was again, it comes down to physicality again. It comes down to our players need help from their teammates because they're physically smaller and slower and don't jump as high as the guy they're supposed to be marking.
I have in chronological order, everything set now, so we can play a clip from the beginning of the game, and I think it showed right away Everton's intentions when it comes to the game. So here you see us actually trying to play a way out from the back, and you see here, I think it's Beto, Garner is here, they are in control, so Onana plays the ball to Mazraoui here, and I think a lot of the times you saw Dalot dropping a little bit too deep, so the passing angle weren't right for Mazraoui, and again I criticize.
Can I interject here 1 second?
Okay.
So when Onana releases the ball to Mazraoui, when Onana releases right there, before Mazraoui gets it, Casemiro is supposed to make a very hard sprint diagonally up towards Dalot and north of Dalot, actually. If we're going to say north is towards Everton's goal.
Yes.
And he's jogging, which is not the way Amorim wants to get out. Amorim wants that Mazraoui pass.
So you want Casemiro here?
North, not that way.
Okay, you want him?
No. The other side, towards Everton's goal.
All right. So you want him up in this area or higher?
Yeah, there you go. Diagonally running up. As soon as that ball is where it is right now, he's got to take off. It's too late. He's jogging, and it's too late by the time he realizes what's going on. And the reason why is this unlocks their press, because the next touch first touch from Mazraoui is to turn his chest towards Dalot. Second touch is to send it to Dalot, and Dalot's first touch is to give it to Casemiro, who then has an option of hitting zone 18 or getting one of the inside 10s. That's how Sporting gets out of this situation. We haven't done it. We don't do it. We jog. We don't. This right here.
There's no urgency in it.
The timing has to be right there, right now. And if you watch Casemiro, that jog does nothing.
There's a lot of space here. He should be the second option for
exactly. He should already be like 5 more meters ahead of where he is.
So he should be available in this area.
Exactly. So Dalot's first touch needs to go there.
So now you see the ball goes to Dalot. Let's play the clip through. See how we saw this. It's a bad first touch from Dalot. It's a little bit heavy. And
if Cass was another 3 meters here, where you were pointing at, then Dalot would have been able with his first touch to give it to Cass. And who I think that's Ugarte over there. Ugarte would just be turning up and running, and that defender won't be able to help cover Cass. That defender will have to stay with Ugarte. And so that's the way
Ugarte is actually creating space for Casemiro.
Exactly.
So again, it's the movement of Casemiro. He looked, as we said in the beginning, sluggish in how he played this game. So here you see Dalot, terrible pass from Dalot. He tries to hoof it up the pitch, but he totally, I don't know what he's trying to do. The ball goes back to Maguire. Maguire is still under pressure. Look at Everton here. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys pushing us into the corner.
4 against 3, right? Like, because Cass is out of the play. So that's 4 against 3. Cass is out of the play because, like we said, he's always behind someone. He's always he's not in that lane where he should have been in the first place. And that's the kind of stuff I look at and I go, okay, he's too slow, or they're reacting too slow. And this, I'm not trying to pick on Casemiro. This happens all over the field, except for with Ugarte, who knows what Amorim wants. But it happens a lot all over the field with a number of players.
Yeah. So I want to see this clip through. The ball goes out from Masraoui. Second ball, again, you see here Brantwaite aggressive all the way up in our last third on Josh Xerxes here. Now you see Casemiro again, a little bit too slow. And Doucouré is everywhere, you know, and just intercepts the ball easily from Casemiro. and you see we are so disorganized in this minute. If I take it back a little bit, you see our players, Dalot and Masraoui, again, they almost always play upon each other. They don't understand the role, and I don't think they communicate really well.
Or you got two fullbacks, so they both want to go where, you know, they both want to go to the same spaces instinctually. They're both fullbacks, right? Like,
and it ended up with a cross and a big chance. So you could already see, and this was in the first 10 minutes of the game, and we were really, really struggling with Everton's high press.
Yep.
Yeah. So what could Amorim have done differently to avoid this? You don't want to touch on that?
Look, the only way he's going to be able to train them to deal with these situations is if in training he can replicate these situations, right?
Yeah.
So when you think about like Man City, and I hate to bring them up, but when you think about Man City and you think about their scrimmages, the bench, the people they're playing, the starting 11 is playing against are great players with a lot of physicality also and a lot of technical ability. Our starting 11 are scrimmaging against academy players and slow players like Eriksen. So they don't get to practice being under pressure like in a real game during practice.
Yeah, you're probably onto something, you know, the level of trainings. And Amorim has mentioned this, and then you heard the players mention this. You heard Lenny Yoro in the interview said that Amorim demands much and he wants the performance on training to be higher than the match. And this was also Ferguson's.
Exactly. You have one of your comments right now that I'm seeing on screen. He says, Jarvis, it was heart and desire we didn't have. We got bullied, right? If you don't scrimmage is in America. I don't know if you guys know what scrimmage means. Scrimmage is when you play practice games. If you're not in training having practice games against guys who can exert that same amount of pressure on you, you're going to get bullied when you come up against it once a week against another Premier League team, because it's new. This isn't when you were training 2 days ago. That's not the kind of pressure you had, and you thought you were doing good. I bet they think they're doing good in training because they're playing against academy kids and slow old players. Like Johnny Evans is a defender that's guarding you in training.
Yeah. It's true. Johnny Evans, 37 years old.
That's who they're training against. You don't get better at dealing with these high pressure situations unless you train against high pressure situations. And they don't. How are they going to do that? They don't have the squad to do that.
Yeah.
You know, he can blow away. And you ask me, like, what could Amorim do different? He can sit there with a whistle and say, quicker, faster, faster. But unless the pressure's there.
Yeah, you're making a good point. There are several things you can do in training. You can take down the size of the pitch and play like 3 against 3. And you know, when I played football myself, we always had the 4-on-4 game and small pitches inside the 18-yard box, and was always high tempo, and you didn't have time to do anything. You needed to have a perfect first touch and then get going with the game.
100%. 100%. I understand where you're coming from with when you say you can make this pitch smaller and stuff like that. But then at some point you have to make this pitch the normal size because you need them to understand what zones they need to be in. Do you see them? Like at some, yes, you're right. That can help with a little bit of it. But at some point you have to make the pitch the normal size so you can understand what zone you're supposed to be in and when you're supposed to go there and everything else. He's in a hard situation. I mean, whenever you look at great teams, they usually have great squads. And the reason why great teams have great squads is because they're playing against great players in training. You get what I mean? And that goes for every sport.
And I have a point. Last season when we had all these injuries under Ten Hag, I think this was one of our issues. The level in training wasn't good enough. When we were missing 10 players and people didn't seem to take that into account and realize it affects the performance for the players that's left. You don't get the same level. And when you come into games, you get like a physical shock because you're not used to the running, you're not used to the tempo, you're not used to the aggression, and everything changes. So it's a good point. Anders comes in and say, can we borrow City's reserves when they are done? Maybe that will help us. If they get relegated, we can like borrow their squad just in training. I want to go to the next clip. This was our first big chance of the first half. Is in the 12th minute. United had a chance, and Ugarte wins the ball and cross from Dorgu into the box to Højlund. And let's just take a look. So here you see Ugarte reads that situation really well, aggressive, plays the ball to Dorgu, and Højlund in front of goal, a little bit too late, and we couldn't do much. But I want to highlight the Ugarte here in this situation. I like that he's high up the pitch and is aggressive. He wants to win the second ball. We always talk about the 5-second rule, and I think he's inside that 5-second rule when we lose the ball, and it's about being aggressive, not tracking back. But then again, you see here Casemiro, he's just watching the game. Ugarte wins the ball brilliantly, plays the ball also, really good ball to Dorgu. And here you have Højlund's movement. So what's your take on Højlund's movements in this situation?
He is tasked to go to the front post. It's something Sporting did all the time. That's his job. I'm not sure Dorgu. So when he goes to the front post here, that's the only option Dorgu had. I was going to say, I'm not sure if Dorgu should have cut it back to either Fernandes or Xerxes there, but Højlund's job was to go to the front post. So that I just don't know if he was supposed to get the pass. Like, I'm not sure if Dorgu should have not cut it back. And he has to go to the front post to drag the defenders so that there is another option. And if the front post run looks good, that's when Dorgu should give him the ball. It's something Sporting did all the time for sure. I've made videos about the front post run that the striker has to make.
But when you look at this situation, you see here Everton, we were under pressure, we were pressing them, and they won the ball, so they have all their defenders in the right place. So there weren't really a turnover in a way in this situation because they were already in balance defensively. So it was kind of hard for us.
This is a tough situation. Like you said, they have the number advantage here. Right, even though we got the ball. So the 5-second rule you were talking about, the reason why the 5-second rule is so powerful is usually because when you pull that off and you get the ball back in 5 seconds, you have the numerical advantage. In this situation, they had 4 players back and a DM, I think, someone right there in the center. Yeah, that guy. Usually that guy is not there.
Yes, this guy. Yes.
Yeah,
I think it's Garner who's in that situation.
Garner was playing very safe and smart right there. Usually he's not there. He'd be behind Xerxes.
Yes, he will be around here.
Right. And then that's why Højlund would have to make that run so that Bruno and Xerxes have an open area there.
Because the space here is not open. So ideally, Højlund would have dragged the defenders with them, opened up a space, and the best solution for Dorgu in this situation, Dorgu would have been a cutback pass to Xerxes or Bruno or whoever would have showed up in that situation.
Yeah, we just got really unlucky with Garner being there. Like, Garner saved them.
But this was our first big chance of the game, and it was in the 12th minute of the game. So I don't think we produced much in that first half, and this was probably our only time I think we were doing anything.
Yeah, you should see my notes. I left it in the living room where I was watching the game. Usually I have about 25 different instances in a game. I had 7. That's how little we produced. And you know me, like most of my notes are with the ball. I usually focus on with the ball, offensive stuff instead of defensive stuff. So my notes are usually of things happening with the ball, and I only had 7 notes, and only 2 of them were good.
Yeah.
5 of them were bad examples.
Negatives, minus, not plus. I want to see what people are saying in the chat. Bath Time comes in and say that cross shape Everton had is textbook coaching on how to recover after a transition. So yeah, David Moyes is actually doing bits with this Everton team, and they looked really structured and solid, even in defense. So it's
Noor was saying yesterday that David Moyes has become a better manager or better coach. He really has. Once he left us and he took, I don't know, a year sabbatical. I don't know how long he was not coaching for. And then he, I think, coached in Spain somewhere, right, for a year or 2, and he didn't do too well. But once he got to West Ham, you could just see him getting better and better. And right now, I think he's in his prime. I think Moyes is in his prime right now when it comes to understanding the game better than he used to.
And I would also say this Everton team is a well-balanced squad in a way. So
the squad's built really nice. Yeah, the squad's built really nice. You know, Sean it proves that, wasn't it Deitch that was there before?
Sean Deitch.
It proves that he's not as good as most people think. Tactically, he's maybe very good man manager, but this squad is built really well. Whoever recruits for them and whoever does their scouting, not bad.
Doing a really good job. Yes. I would say I know that guy Lindstrom, he was taken off. I don't know if it was an injury or not, but I think he had a really good game. His movement was really good, and he caused a lot of troubles for us because of his movement. And you know, usually like wingers, they move up and down, but he had a really great move inside and outside to create space, and you know, he dragged the players a lot, so he created space for others like Ugarte and O'Brien and stuff like that to create and put us under pressure. So I think we need also more of those type of players who can actually create space and sacrifice themselves with runs.
We don't have enough forward players who like to start from the inside and then go to the outside. We have too many forward players who want to start outside and get the ball and then use the ball and bring it inside, right?
We have Ahmad, Garnacho, all of them, Rashford in these days.
They want to start outside. Anthony, they all want to start outside. Only Xerxes wants to start inside, but that's because he's used to be a striker and now he's trying to learn to be a number 10. And we need, like, you know, people say Cunha. We need somebody who likes to play inside behind the striker and then make the run outside if need be to create space. That's just. But I was going to ask you, like, or tell you, you were talking about Lindstrom. And before that, you were mentioning Doucouré having a great game.
Yes.
And then I was mentioning how Beto was very effective. And we both know, even though we didn't mention it, we both know Garner was pretty good in positionally. So we can sit here and name at least 4 players, and that's without talking about their center backs, who had pretty good games. I can't name more than 1 player for our team that had a pretty good game. And that's the problem.
They didn't show up, and you can see the confidence in the squad is totally out, and we are easily dominated. We get stressed in situations, but I think a lot of these things that I saw was wrong with us today, especially when we were trying to play out from the back, because Everton put us immensely under pressure all the time. I think playing again the Ligt on the left. I have some footage here. And you can see what I'm talking about, the deficiencies. Here you see the Ligt receives the ball from Maguire. he receives it with his left foot, looking for the pass. He wants to go inside. Ugarte puts him under pressure, and he gets totally stressed out and just tries to release the ball. He doesn't know what he's doing in this situation.
So stop it right here for me. Freeze it right here. Okay. So when this ball was released from Maguire going to Ligt, what's supposed to happen is someone in the center, like one of Casemiro or Ugarte, one of these players is supposed to be running like basically towards the line that Ligt is on, towards the vertical line that Ligt is on.
Yeah,
makes sense.
So around here. So
correct, and it's not happening. It's not happening with urgency. It's not happening with speed. It's happening with a jog. And then the other mistake you'll see is if you keep playing it, when Ligt starts to dribble, you'll see Bruno running down towards Ligt and inward from outside. He'll show up soon in another, I don't know, couple seconds.
Yeah, but again, you mentioned in the first clip we played, Casemiro he's blocked in the passing shade, So So it's hard for the Ligt to find him.
Exactly. Again, that's why Casemiro was supposed to be running hard, right? Because if Casemiro is running hard,
should be dropping down here or
that way,
available.
this way. And the reason why is if the other guy still stays with Casemiro, then Ligt will have an open pass to Delo up there, which we can't see right now. Or what's his name will fill in where Casemiro is. Ugarte. I don't know where Ugarte is, but somebody's got either an inside 10 or Ugarte has got to fill in where Casemiro is. If Casemiro is running hard, if he's not running hard, none of this happens. And then you have Bruno running towards the same space that Cass is going to. So you got two players running into the same, to that same space,
dragging defenders into this area and make it squeeze the area for the Ligt. And I agree. I think that's a great observation. In my opinion, I think in a situation like this, if I was Casemiro, I would have dragged myself high up and opened up this space for Ugarte to come in and receive the ball. That would be the optimal, in my opinion, when you try to play out from the back with a double pivot.
Yeah, that works. I always say diagonal runs, right? I always in my videos say diagonal runs. Cass is not supposed to run just straight. It's supposed to be towards north, right? For me, north, by the way, when I look at a pitch, north is where I'm trying to go, like the other team's goal. So I look at a pitch vertically. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. I got you. So here you see Bruno, and Bruno is dragging a defender with him. Casemiro is in nowhere's land, not attributing to anything. And you see here the Ligt, because he's forced to play on his left foot, because when you are the core and he's a right-footed left centre-back, it's easy to apply pressure on the right side. You always press his right side and force him to go left. So you want to force him to play on his weak foot. And he's in trouble. He's not knowing what to do in this situation, and they intercept the ball. So again, I think we struggle a little bit by playing out from the back because.
But do you put the blame on the Ligt right there?
No, I'm saying it's an issue. I'm not blaming anyone, but it's an issue. It's an issue because we don't have enough left-footed players. If it was Martinez, it would have been solved differently.
100%. Yeah.
So. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to hate on anyone or scapegoat anyone. I'm just telling it as I see as structural issues and personnel issues at the moment. From how, but we struggle, as we said in the beginning. I think Lenny Yoro also would have done better in that situation. He's more composed under pressure,
more agile too. He might have even been able to run away.
Yeah. Stephanie comes in and she says 38 likes. People, smash the like. We need more likes. That's the currency on YouTube. So help out and thank you for the moderators to reminding everybody to do that little thing. Press that like. Thank you. Alan comes in and say fair play to Everton. We folded really easily in the first. No fight, or else they don't know what to do. Beto and Lindstrom to Corey worked well for them today. Yes, I agree. That's a good observation, Alan. Let's go to the next clip. It's the Everton goal on a corner kick. So let's just take a quick look on that situation. I just need to load up the file. Give me 2 seconds. And here we go. So yes, I'm ready. Yeah, set pieces. I don't know what to say. Again, you see Xerxes defending the first zone here, and yeah, the picture is really bad, but it's a bad clearance here from Dalot. It hits his knee and bounces right back into the melee with a lot of people here. Maguire can't really clear the ball. Masraoui comes in with a poor header. And Dorgu, yeah, you can see that Everton wanted it more. They won mostly all of the duels. And I don't know what to say about the marking, but everything is chaos in a situation like this. You see Beto here coming in from offside, but he's onside when the ball goes, and he scores. So I don't know. Do you have anything to add?
I just think if you look at the numbers, we have the numbers advantage by a lot. But for some reason, and that reason again comes down to agility and swiftness of movement. The Everton players are just more agile, more swift with their movement. We have guys like Casemiro in there. We have guys like Maguire in there. We have even though Xerxes young and not old, he's not a swift mover. Like his body's not agile. He's good with his feet. He's good on the ball. Some people think agility means he's not good dribbling. No, he's a really good dribbler, but he's not agile. He can't bend and shape his body in ways and turn quickly.
Yeah.
And when you have a lot of traffic like that and ball bouncing around, the guy who's going to turn quicker, jump quicker is going to get the ball. We don't have it's again, it comes down to physicality. It's another, that's my opinion, at least. I might be wrong, but there's a reason why we keep losing in set piece situations, even though we have numbers advantages. And it's not because our players aren't big enough. It's because they're not agile enough. If a guy like Maguire, he's huge, right? But it takes him longer to leave the ground than Beto. Beto can, if they both jumped, Maguire might even jump higher than Beto, but Beto's going to leave the ground earlier.
Yeah. Bath time comes in and say 3 men going for the same ball. That's amateur stuff. And Anders,
that's true
comes
too.
in.
That's true too. By the way, like what he just said about 3 men going for the same ball. That's very true. We do that too much. We take up the same space, and then 3 of our guys are over here, and Beto's wide open by himself.
Yeah. By the way, guys, we are streaming on X at the same time as YouTube. So if you can please give us a retweet on X, that will be fantastic. It will help out to reach out to more people. I'm just retweeting myself now that we are live. So I'll put the link in the comment section for you guys, so you can press it and retweet. So that will be really helpful. The next situation is us trying to play out from the back. We are about the 30th minute of the game. Again, I haven't gone through all the clips and seen them a second time, so I'm just following my instinct here on the clips. So let's have a look, see what we got here. Again, we see the Ligt goes inside naturally because he's a right footer. He don't like to go on the outside of the core. Onana on the ball, holds on to it. Masraoui again plays out to Dalot. Where is Casemiro? He's here jogging. So we are put under pressure and we clear the ball. So anything on this? Again, we can highlight the movement of Casemiro, or would you say anything else?
I also don't like how long it takes for some of our players to release the ball. When you're under pressure like this, you have to know without looking where your teammate is going to be, because it should be trained. And you should take one touch, settle the ball, next touch, send it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's one touch settle the ball, 2 steps, not without touching the ball, and then send it. No, it should be one touch settle, next touch go, which is your next step. And if you look at like Mazraoui, he's going to touch and settle, and then I think he takes 2 or 3 steps before he passes the ball. One touch settle,
2.
1, 2, 3, 4, then the ball. Do you see what I'm saying?
Same with Dallo. 1, 2,
Because they're
3.
like
Dilly
making
dallies with the
sure
ball.
they want to make sure the teammate is there, and you're not going to get out of a press like that.
And then again, you see here Brantwaite winning the second ball, really aggressive. He's in the area with Xerxes. And here again, waiting, dilly-dallying on the ball. And we put ourselves under immense pressure because, as you mentioned, the ball tempo, the tempo of rotating
This
the
is
ball.
good right there. What happened there was good. Now, why was that good? If you play that back, that was good because there wasn't wasting time, right? After not this part, from here on. So look, one touch settle, one touch pass, one touch settle, next touch pass, one touch pass. Do you see that? See the movement? But then Casemiro messes it up. But the point is, what you just saw there is what we need to see more. Now Casemiro messes up, goes backwards, and really just kind of puts Maguire in trouble here. But Bruno was perfectly positioned. I'm not sure he should have turned the way he did there. I feel like this ball, Bruno first touch should have gone to Cass
But
here.
you look, he first scouts this way and he scouts this way, so he knows what's around him. That worries me a little bit because this is what I feel with Bruno in the number 8. I don't like it because he's not press resistive and he easily loses the ball and plays with too much of a risk to play in that role. Because if you lose the ball here, you're in danger. That's just my thoughts. You see
Correct.
scouts again.
100%. But right here, that could be a 2-on-1 with Bruno and Cass against that defender. I don't know if he had to turn. I think he should have used Cass as a bounce pass. Because if he passes to Cass there and then goes and curves his run behind Gay, he would have had the ball back to him, and he would have had a lot of space. Because Gay's coming with a lot of momentum here.
Yes. So Gay will be easily overplayed, and we would have created a big chance.
Correct.
So yeah. But again, it tells me that the players don't trust each other and don't know how to do the simple things, and especially
Bruno's
the bounce
trying to
pass.
get us out of this situation, right? Because we just had 10 passes in this area, and Bruno's thinking, "Screw it, I'm just going to turn and try to get us out of here."
But we got to give it to Everton. They constantly move their legs.
Oh man, their work ethic is really good. Their work ethic is high top quality work ethic for sure.
And again, you see here Lindstrom on the inside trying to go out. So yeah.
So I mean, that was a very good video clip, because it showed in the early stages of that video clip how we make mistakes with too many steps before we want to look and Dalot is actually there. Let me pass it to him. It's too late now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then later on in that clip, you start seeing when they do it at the right time and how it actually did work. And that's the story of our problems. The movements happen too slow. The ball moves too slow. The urgency, I don't want to say urgency is not there. I just want to say like maybe they're not. So I know a guy who watches a lot of sporting. I actually talk to him a lot. And when I watch sporting games, I confer with him on, am I seeing this right? Is this what you've seen before? This guy knows his tactics. And he was telling me that actually in training, what's his name? Ruben Amorim used to have the sporting players almost play blindfolded, not necessarily, but he would ask them like, don't look around, and they would know where to send the pass without looking. And they would know the teammate's going to be over there. They got to get to a point where they just trust that's where the teammate's going to be. We're just not there. Like you can tell, Mazraoui in that clip took 4 steps to look and make sure Dalot is there before he sends the pass, right?
Yeah.
They don't trust each other to actually be there.
But do you think this is what frustrates Amorim because he knows it will take time? And do you think he had faster or faster progression when he trains with Sporting, because I think a lot of these players are not the brightest when it comes to footballing IQ, not slagging them off in another way, but football decisions. I think we struggle a lot. We saw it under Ten Hag. We've seen it under several managers, and the same usual suspects comes back.
Yeah, I think some of the players definitely are never going to be able to do it, right? Casemiro is one of those. I love Cas, by the way. It pains me to say bad things about Casemiro because I loved watching him play at Real Madrid like 8 years ago. But he's gotten to the point where he should be like in the MLS. You know what I mean? Like he should be somewhere where he could still be great and not have to worry with the aggressiveness of the Premier League. He's never going to be able to run the way Amorim needs his players to run. And then you have some players who just really, really are attracted to getting the ball out wide, like the Antonys, the Marcus Rashfords, the Garnachos, who's not adapting and playing more in the middle, where actually he's forcing Amorim to adapt. When Garnacho came in, he played out wide, and Dorgu had to invert his run to the inside. So he's.
I have a clip on that actually, but we will come to that later. But that's a good observation.
I don't like that, and I don't think Amorim likes that. It's not a long-term solution. Amorim does not like that. I'm telling you right now, he doesn't want his wingers.
He wants the inside 10 and the outside wing back.
Right, because when you run from the inside out, you have a better chance of going to zone 16. But when you start on the outside, your wing back is also starting on the outside. So now there's two of you starting on the outside, which means there's two defenders on the outside. And now zone 16 is more protected.
You crowd the space.
Yeah, that's not what he wants. That's not going to be a long-term solution. I wouldn't be surprised if Garnacho is sold this summer, and I know some people are going to hate me for saying that. I think Garnacho is super talented. I wish he would just adapt and learn to play inside. Because I would love for him to stay. But as long as he adapted and played inside and then ran out, he could still do everything he wants from the outside, but he has to start inside. He has to receive the ball either on the inside or receive the ball on the outside while he's running out, not parked out there waiting for it.
Yeah. I have one clip here. The next clip is playing now. That was playing out on the back. Maybe you can answer this question from Bahman. He comes in and he said, Jarvis, with hard pressing teams, should we not go for first time long balls? It seems that we get caught 100%, out.
But you have to do it with a strategy and a plan. Like not just boot it up to Højlund because Højlund's not going to be good at winning a duel or holding it up. So it has to be done where the wing backs check back and you open up one of zone 16 or 18. I talk about this all the time. And you have your striker running to that zone and you hit the long ball to there. Yeah, hit the long ball to there.
Into these zones. We talk about it, but I can repeat it for the new viewers. We have two zones, and it's zone 16 and 18 on the pitch. And Amorim wants to play and establish our attack in those areas. And it's about movement, and especially from our number 9, Højlund should learn how to do these diagonal runs. And the same with our number 10s. I don't know who will do that run, but there's several options when it comes to this.
Yeah, and your wing backs check back to take the defender away from the zone, and then you hit the long ball there.
Yes. So it's interesting. But the next clip, let's go to this. See here what I got. Yeah, it's us on the attack, and now you see here. I want you to pay attention to Højlund here. He wants to do the diagonal run, and Bruno is trying to find him. I think he should have hit the ball a little bit harder. But here you see, right in the beginning, you see Højlund pointing for the ball here and wants to go in that zone as we're talking about. And Bruno sees this, but the timing of it all isn't optimal because Højlund pushes and stops and then pushes again. So he loses kind of his momentum.
Are you pulling it up? Because right now we're seeing the tactics board.
Sorry. Thank you for. Okay, I will say it again. Okay, so here you see Højlund Once the ball is pointing, Bruno is on the ball here, but he loses his momentum as I was saying. So look at Højlund here, stops and then runs, and the ball comes in this zone, but the timing is not right.
Yep.
But I think Højlund starts to understand that this is what Amorim expects from him, and you see he's inviting, he's pointing, and he wants to go in that area. But the ball from Bruno isn't good enough, and he should have come right away and a little bit harder and longer into that zone.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I think Højlund is the last 2 games has made a lot of adjustments to like his movement, but it's the team is still not operating with perfect timing, and that goes for Bruno too. Maybe Bruno took too long hitting that ball. Maybe he touched it or took too many steps. I don't know if it's all Højlund's fault, but they're both.
Yeah, the
both
timing of it all, it's between them both. And I will also say that the cover play from O'Brien here on the left back right back was really good.
And I think so. That's a good point. So this is what I try to tell my friends. Actually, is they go, "Oh, that's not going to work in the EPL." Because they'll show me clips like this one, and they'll say, "See, it's not going to work in the EPL. He's not going to be able to get to zone 16 and 18 in the Premier League." And I said, "No, that has nothing to do with the league. That has to do with the fact that we telegraph what we're about to do. The fact that Rasmus had to slow down his run, Bruno took too long to send the ball. Of course, O'Brien knew where the ball was going." You get what I mean? Like, it's not it's like when Sporting do it, they do it right away. Too late. By the time you figured out what they're doing, the ball's already in the air.
Yeah.
So yes, O'Brien did cover it. I agree with your assessment of O'Brien covering it, but I think that's because we are too slow.
Yeah, and the next segment of this clip is Everton playing out from the back. You see here again Doucouré dropping down, finds the pocket, turns with the ball, and you see here I think it's Bruno overhitting his press, comes in too fast, and he's not reading the situation right, and that's poor defending from Bruno.
So right there, that's a good catch too, right? So if you rewind that again, just that part where you froze it when Bruno was frozen with right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So Bruno's momentum cost him there, right? Like,
yes.
And Bruno was trying to block off the pass to number 29 there. But if you play it, like if you go forward a little and stop again after you see, I think it was Ligt.
Yes.
Right there. He didn't. So Bruno didn't need to cover that pass.
No, Ligt was already here in place.
Right, and actually, I think Doucouré made a bad decision to pass the ball right here. I think Doucouré should have taken a couple of more steps forward and see if anything opens up on the far side where he has a diagonal runner on the far side there.
But what I'm coming to with this clip is diagonal runs again, and now you can see Beto, how he does it and the timing of the run, because you see here Lindstrom on the ball.
Perfect.
Look at this run.
And perfect. Inside, and that's zone 18, right? I mean, that's what he's running towards zone 18.
Yes.
He's doing what Amorim wants us to be doing.
Yes. That's why I'm pointing out this clip, because it's the movement of the striker. You see here Beto, and we are forced to defend in the wide areas. You see the Ligt, he did right, but it leaves a big gap in this area. So that's why it's there to be exploited by a good striker who knows how to time his run.
Yeah, and the other side of the pitch there's 3 Everton players and not a single one of ours, right? Like this guy who just touched the ball, I don't know who it is, but he should have passed earlier, because that guy is all by himself over there. But he wanted to be a hero,
but he created a big chance and a good save from Onana again. But
a good save from Onana keeps.
Well, at least he stopped. It's hard. It comes from a short distance, so
yeah.
But
I'm just sick of seeing Onana block a ball and leave it right in our 6-yard box.
He do a lot of this and gives dangerous rebounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I wanna talk to the chat. We are on 45 likes. Thank you, people. I appreciate the effort. If you haven't liked, please do. There's 72 people watching at the moment, so I know there's a couple of more of you who haven't smashed that like yet. So now is the time. Let's say Alien Tenno comes in. Peter, big up. He says, so if these players are telegraphing, what are they doing? Isn't that on the manager's play patterns?
No, because if any, that's every pattern can be telegraphed. Doesn't matter who the manager is, right? Like every pattern can be telegraphed. It's up to the players to do it swiftly before the message is telegraphed. That's not every pattern. If I tell you hit a long ball that way, or if I tell you make a short pass the other way, two different patterns. But if I take 3 steps and look towards what I'm going to do before I do it, doesn't matter which one of those options I do, I'm telegraphing what I'm going to do. Telegraphing just means that you're doing it too slow and you're moving towards what you want to do. You're basically showing everybody what you're going to do before you do it.
Yeah.
So that's not a manager problem. That's a player not executing in a timely fashion problem.
Good comment. Thank you for the question, Peter. The next clip is the Everton goal. No, yeah, it's a 2-0 in the 32nd minute. The Corey scored. Let's run through it again. They attack on Everton's right side. You see, Bruno is in first line of press. It's a good ball from is it Brantwaite who plays it on the side, and you see Lindstrom coming from the inside out, flicking it to.
What a great play, great pass, great movement from all the players there.
I think it's Garner there on the ball. Garner crosses it into the Corey, take a couple of touches, and it seems like we have control on the situation. Garner again. We know he has a brilliant
cross.
Oh, that wasn't the goal, but it was a good attack. Yeah, that's. But the movement of this attack from Everton, I have to give it to them.
And from inside out, like you said, from inside out, which is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. And then the other player is running from outside in. Both players making diagonal runs in opposite directions.
Yeah. And again, you see here Delo struggling really hard defending the wide areas. It's not his good thing. He's a good old-fashioned center back. He's not a back 3 center back. So I think the profiling of him in this system is not right. But that's just my thoughts.
No, you're right. I mean, you could say that about 70% of the players.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, Everton were really, really doing well. Jay United comes in, big up Jay, comes in and say, let's get to 50 likes. Yes, people, smash that like. It's really important. And Bath Time comes in and say, of course, Arsenal have an opportunity to make up points on the Scousers, and they are 1-0 down at home. Okay, yeah, it's a Premier League round at the moment as we speak. And thank you for keeping us updated, Bath Time. I want to go to the next clip, and now I think we are on the goal. Let's see. I'm just gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's clip number 6. That's there's something wrong with my notes here. Give me 2 seconds. Can you take some questions, Samix? I'm just gonna order out the clips and load them up.
Yeah. Where do you? I'm watching through the Streamlabs, so I don't see the chat.
Oh, you don't see it? All right. Okay, I can bring up a question for you. Smash the like for Jarvis clips. And Alien Tenno, yeah, can do this.
Football isn't zonal. It's about independent thinking. It's called coherent thinking. That comes from number 1, the manager, number 2, the players. Correct and incorrect at the same time. So here's what I mean. Let me just explain that to you, because and I can speak on this depending on like any sport. You don't even have to just think about football. So in every sport, every manager, coach is going to break up the field into different areas. And in every sport, it's called something different. It doesn't always have to be called a zone. But in football, we just speak to it in zonal terms. Now, when you say football is in zonal, unfortunately, every map of anything is going to have zones, right? So what a manager is going to do is he's going to basically tell his team how he wants to attack the other team from what zones. Guardiola, for example, he will keep the ball around what we call zone 13, 14, and 15. So it's a 13, 14, 15, and Guardiola wants to circulate the ball in those zones until an opening happens in zone 16, 17, or 18, and then he attacks that opening as soon as the other team makes a mistake, overplays to one side, or something of that nature. Our manager, Ruben Amorim, wants to bring the opponent towards the center of the field and then attack zone 16s and 18 because that will be open. Now, once the ball goes there, that's when you're right. Once the ball gets there, then it's up to them and their independent thinking to figure out how to now create that opportunity. So, and everybody does this, including Ancelotti, including Sir Alex Ferguson. It's not just, oh, go, here's what you do on defense, but on offense, do whatever you want. Give the ball to Ronaldo and get out of his way. That's not how it works. They have set patterns to get themselves into certain positions, and it's not always the same positions. They'll have more than one option. But once they get into those positions, then it's up to the talent of the player, independent thinking, as you put it, and their connections to each other. But also, just in case, you want to give them a couple of patterns to work with or triangles that build up to work with in case there is no opening, in case the other team is sitting back so much that, Vinicius Jr. can't just take on the whole team. There's got to be some set patterns also. So I appreciate what you're saying, and I understand why you're saying it. But I do want you to know that every manager, I don't care who it is, including Sir Alex Ferguson, wasn't just willy-nilly let the players figure it out on their own. It's how do I get my players to a certain area? In this case, we're calling it a zone. And then from there, they have to put their talent together or use their strengths to create the chance, right? So we get the ball up there to Garnacho today at the end of the game. And then after that, Garnacho is allowed the freedom to do whatever he wants to do. But until that point, Garnacho has to run in a certain way so that he can get the ball over there. That's all we're saying, Alien Tenno. We're not saying that every single movement has to be planned and done precisely. We're saying every single movement does have to be planned precisely so that we can get out of certain situations, get into better situations, and then from there, the players can use their talent to do whatever they want to do. And it's like that in a lot of sports, almost every sport.
Trevor is not happy with the zones. It's football. Well, we have to try to make language so everybody understands. And when we talk about football, it's a lot about zones to explain the areas where we want things to happen. So yeah, yeah, the next clip is, I don't have the goal, actually. I was looking through all the clips. I don't know why I don't have the second goal of Ugarte, but something happened, something with the upload. This is a highlighting the trouble we had with the Ligt and you see here Dorgu, again going for the same ball, no communication, and Everton attacking from the inside and out. Ugarte good on the ball, and you see here Brantwaite attributing to the attack. We have and there's a good cross. So again, I think you see here it's schoolboy defending in a way. You should be able to avoid stuff like that. You can't both go on the same ball. You have to talk. So I think we struggle with that. Do you have anything to add?
No, I mean you said everything exactly like I would have said it.
Yeah. And again, you see here Everton attacking. Ugarte coming into the box, crosses it in front, and yeah, maybe this is the goal. Oh. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal. But there's something wrong with this clip, so I don't have the ending. Everton setting up Ugarte inside the box, and no, it's not. Well, So basically, we were struggling on our left side. Lindstrom was dominating us. I think Brantwaite was really good. I think Garner was operating there, and Decore always the troublemaker for us in that area, especially on our left side. And I think we struggled hard with that side. Should Amorim have taken any measures earlier to fix that?
You mean substitutions?
Yeah.
Or changes in
Subs
formation,
or changes formally for formation wise, or.
But do you think like 2 players going up for a header is a formation issue?
Nah, but generally on the first half, we struggled really hard on that side, and I think they dominated us. They set up a overload all the time, and we looked like we panicked. We were in panic mode on that side all the time. We were always chasing.
I think I really don't know. Like, can you? I want you to answer that same question. Actually, do you think Amorim? What do you think Amorim should have done to deal with that?
Yeah, as you pointed out really early, we all saw that Casemiro was struggling. So I would have taken Casemiro out of the game because he didn't move his legs enough.
For who?
Well, even one of the youngsters. I don't know, someone who can actually run.
Because so you would have thrown like let's say Sekou Kone. You would have thrown a Sekou Kone in there that early, like in the 50th minute or something, or what?
He lacks experience, but he's 19. Maybe we should have tried something.
Or Christian Eriksen? Would you have considered Christian Eriksen, or would you go, no, he's slow too, so what's the point?
I like Christian Eriksen better because I think he's better on the ball, and he keeps really tight to the other DM, so he doesn't allow a lot of space between them.
I think I'm actually curious what the chat thinks on that one. If you were going to take Casemiro out, who would you guys put in? Would it be Christian Eriksen or a Sekou Kone? I think if he did it, it would have been Christian Eriksen. I don't think he would have put in a young kid in his. I think he wants to put these young kids in. I think that people are saying, why is he putting them on the bench if he doesn't intend on playing them? I think he wants to put them in, but he doesn't want their first minutes to be in these type of situations where we're losing every single battle, every single duel on the pitch. We're losing. So, I think you don't want. I want to see Sekou Kone, but I don't know if I want to see him in this situation if I was a manager, right? If I was the manager, I don't know if I want to put him in a situation where he's going to.
As we mentioned, we struggled in this area, I would say, and Everton were really overloading us. They had a lot of players coming in, and.
Oh, so you're saying more like take the Ligt out and put Euro in earlier than he did.
We could, for example, have done something like this earlier, putting in Garnacho and putting Bruno down here to get some more legs into this area. For example,
that's fair. No, that's fair. That's actually not a bad solution.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I think we struggled really hard with Casemiro because he was too static and he was keeping his position. Didn't move enough to help out, and forced out the Ligt to defend the wide areas. Dorgu was chasing the ball all the time, and it's really hard to defend against it when you put up overloads like this because you are 2 against 3 most of the time, and even 4, and they set up really well in a almost like a diamond. And all you do as a defender, I've been playing as a defender sometimes against something like this, and you feel totally lost because everything you do through the game is you're just chasing. You're chasing after, and as soon as you reach the guy who has the ball, there's another guy who's open who receives the ball, and you have to chase him again. So you're never in the right place, and it's so difficult, so hard. I don't know if you ever played as a fullback or defending the wide areas.
I never played as a fullback. I was always a center mid, but yeah, I've been overcrowded before and just keep turning my head like this and run in every direction and go, okay, what's going on? Like this has to stop. And then I just foul someone.
Yeah. Yes. I don't have much more on the first half. I have a couple of more clips. I have the goals and a couple of things from the second half. I want to play this one. I'm not sure what because my notes are not in sync with the order of the clips. So we just have to go with the flow on this one. So where are we now? Here, yes. So let's just share this clip, add it to the stage. Okay, you guys see it? Yeah. It's the 1-2 with Bruno and Dorgu.
They actually did that a couple of times in the game, in the second half. They did that a couple of times before Garnacho came in. And that's what I mean by Garnacho starting out wide. He took that option away when he did that.
But you see, I think it's Bruno plays a 1-2 with Dorgu, and here we actually doing really well. That's good from Bruno. And Højlund, he...
So that was wrong from Højlund, by the way.
Yeah. Did you want Højlund to run into area 16?
Yes. And then Dorgu could have
inside.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because in an Amorims system, this is what he wants. He wants Højlund to go here, drag the defender with him, open up space for Dorgu to come inside.
Correct. He could either keep the ball and come inside with it or pass it to Højlund.
But this is also we struggle with Højlund because he always runs in straight lines towards the goal. And he's not educated enough when it comes to football to understand these situations.
Yeah.
There's nothing more to add. We have been talking this to death.
I've done a lot of videos on Højlund and talked about these kind of situations where it's not that complicated is why I get frustrated.
Yeah,
it's not that complicated. And I know people were telling me like to stop talking about zones. That's okay. I could just say he should run towards the corner flag. It's the same thing. I'm saying the same thing.
Yeah. Another panic mode moment from the Ligt. We all saw this. He received the ball, totally panicked, didn't know what to do with it. Tried to pass it back to Onana, and I don't know what to say. I think the Ligt was having a bad day at work today. We struggled a lot. But there's nothing much from a tactical point of view. But it is what it is. Now the goal, the free kick from Bruno. Let's have a look.
Fantastic, by the way.
It was. So here you see this is Bruno. Just gonna take it down a little bit. And I think it was beautiful. But if you take a closer look, if you look at Pickford, it takes a step to his right and is caught off. As a goalkeeper, I think you should always trust the players in the wall here. But he didn't. He took a step, and he was figuring out that Bruno was going to curve it up into the left.
Yeah, and I think again that's why I think it was fantastic because 3 minutes before that, Bruno took another free kick and he tried to curl it over the wall. So it was fantastic that he didn't curl it over the wall the second time because Pickford's always going to be thinking, okay, now he's closer to the goal with this free kick. He's going to try it again.
Yeah.
So it was a great idea.
I have this from a different angle. So here you see Pickford's movement. You see here he's dropping on his right over behind the wall and opens up this part of the goal. And I think Bruno disguised it really well.
That goal woke me up. It was like 5:45 a.m. my time. And as soon as they scored, I'm like, okay, I can start paying attention. I need to wake up.
Yes. But, it changed the game. It changed the momentum of the game. as I showed you in the beginning, the momentum of the game is here, and you see here the red spots here. After the goal, it changed the momentum, and we started to press and actually creating stuff. So in a way, from a dead game, Bruno changed it all by himself. So at least, you know, I know that Bruno gets a lot of stick for his deficiencies, but as a captain, isn't this what you're supposed to do when everything looks lost? Step up and change the game.
Yeah.
How do we say?
Huh?
Yeah.
So, what was your first reaction after the whistle blew? Like after the game was over, what was your first feeling, thought? I don't want to ask what was your first thought after the first half because I already know what your first thought must have been after the first half. But what was everybody's first thought after the whistle blew? Like, what do we want to? How do we analyze this game, not just tactically, but overall about the state of our team?
Well, it's a good question. It's not an easy, quick answer to that, but I think we are disjointed. We don't have the right profiles in the right areas. I think Amorim needs more time. We know we have had now 2 full weeks of training with the squad, and quite frankly, I was expecting more. I'm expecting us to see more of the patterns we see from the sporting days. But then again, it takes time, and I think he lacks the profiles to do it. The number 10s are not right. At least one of the wing backs are not right. The wide center backs are not right because we need more playmaker type of roles, and the striker is not doing his things. You know, there's small improvements, but we are not there yet. So I think I don't know if Amorim is impatient with the squad, but I think we just have to give them more time, and at least for the rest of the season and a full summer before we can expect anything.
Yeah, I found a way to get the chat up so I can read the chat in another window.
Okay, nice.
I'm actually just a little bit not surprised, but I don't know how to say it, but it seems like a lot of your chat don't believe in Amorim, right? I mean that, or unless those are the only people that are typing.
No, I don't think it's not. But you know, if you're allowed to criticize Amorim, it's not.
I'm not saying you're not. No, I'm not saying
it's not the same as saying that your manager out. I think it's fair.
I'm not saying you're not. I definitely think you're allowed to criticize everybody. Amorim, the board, the CEO, the players. I don't care who it is. You know, you're allowed to criticize anybody for sure. I'm just wondering, when I see that, the first thing I wonder is how long does Amorim have before the fans turn on him?
Yeah, let's make a poll. I can make a poll, and we can ask the question to the chat. I'm just gonna stop this current poll if you have liked the stream, and I will bring up another one. Do you believe in Amorim? I'm not going to say Amorim out or in. We're not there yet, but
yeah. Do you believe he should, you know, something to the point of, do you believe he can turn this around? Maybe not with this squad, though. I don't want them to, because with this squad, even I don't think he can turn this around. But do you believe in Amorim? But answer it in a way, guys, that guys and gals, that doesn't just reflect this season.
So I created a poll now. Do you believe Amorim can turn this around? Yes or no? I'm interested in hearing your opinion, your opinion on that. And Rebbe Bakir, big up Rebbe Bakir. He said Baran told us how the players can turn on and off their game, and if you sack a manager again, the players win. And yeah, that's a good point. You know, we struggle with player power. So, do you think this group of players believe in Amorim?
Say again. I'm sorry.
Do you think the players believe in Amorim's system and what he's trying to create?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care what the players believe. That's how sick I am of these players. That's like you understand what I mean, right? Like, why would I care if the players believe if I don't believe in the player? Does that make sense? Like, not all of them. Not all of them. There's a couple of players I would care what their opinion is. But there's a lot more where I'm going, instead of worrying about Amorim, why don't you worry about how to make a 5-yard pass? Do you get what I mean? Like, it would be it would be a different situation if we had Valverde, Busquets type players, intelligent, Xavi's, Iniestas, Valverde's, you know what I mean? Not the I'm not talking about the glamorous Vinny's and Mbappe's, and those guys, they just need freedom and space and they're going to do their thing. As long as the manager lets them have freedom and space, they're going to be happy guys. Yeah. I like the guy you ask about the manager are the intelligent players, the thinkers on the soccer field, the football pitch. You get those players. The Sergio Ramos is one you could ask. Iniesta, who Fabregas, like in our past, I would do Scholes, Giggs, the guys who think, right? And I would go, okay, now what do you think of his training methods? What do you think of the manager? How many thinkers do you think we have in our squad that I could listen to on their actual opinion? Does that make sense? Like,
I don't know. I see Jay comes in and say I back Amorim 100%.
He likes his beard, man. He likes the beard.
Yeah. I wish I could grow a beard. I would definitely have a beard.
You can't grow a beard?
No. I'm useless. But I have a full set of hair though, so I can't complain.
I got one more thing, because I am reading the chat, guys. I'm reading everything I see. One more thing I'm curious about with the chat is, would you rather change formations and playing styles only to finish 8th or 7th? Is that better? Or is it better to... So the two Robbies I'm watching in the US, in America, and I had a what do you call it? I had the halftime show on. And at halftime, they had the two Robbies, Robbie Earl and Robbie Mustoe. Speaking about, one of them thinks Amorim should change the formation and start to adapt to the players, and the other one thinks it's already bad.
Stick to his guns.
What's that?
Yeah, to stick to his guns and just continue what he's trying to do.
Continue what you're doing so that everybody knows which players need to go and which players need changing. Because and I understand that argument, because if you change now and you start to win some games, how are the people who are in charge of spending money to buy players, how are they? Well, they're going to go, well, we're keeping that player because he helped you win that game. You're going to keep that player because he helped you win that game. But he helped him win the game in the wrong way, not in his way. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
Alan comes in and say Amorim wanted to come after the season, and I understand him now. Yeah, I think we all do. Lightning has a interesting comment here. He say, I don't think he's good enough to win the Premier League title. That would be fine if he coached a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. But the likelihood of that we are to get a 3-4-3 manager capable of doing something is low. So you don't have a strong belief in this Amorim system. It's a fair point.
Do we all believe the news that early on in the Enio's tenure, we were looking at Thomas Tuchel to come in? Do you remember that?
Yeah, he was a part of the assessment period process, and yeah, I don't know.
Sure, and then there was a stories that we even talked to Xabi Alonso, but obviously Xabi didn't want to leave, or if he does leave, he's probably going to go to Real Madrid. So what it showed me was that there's a clear plan that we're going to play a 3-back system.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? So the decision has already been made before Amorim that we were going to start to play a 3-back system moving forward. That's what I got. I maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think you're right. But for me, I think it's the summer transfer window tells me something else.
Last summer.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Last summer, I think that's why Dan Ashworth got sacked. I think he got sacked because he didn't agree with Jason Wilcox, Omar Barada wanting to switch to a 3-back system. Do you see what I'm saying? And I think now they're fully committing to.
But the structures should have known already then, if they were committing to a back 3 manager, they should sign the place for it. We should at least sign one wing back in the summer.
100%. That's why my anger is towards the people who are in charge of the structure. You see what I mean? Like, my anger isn't towards the players. It's not towards the manager. My anger is towards the mess that the decision makers created. And then
but apparently it's Sir Jim Ratcliffe who's hands-on in all of this.
I agree. I believe that. I believe he's a billionaire that wants to be the most important person in the room.
Yeah. And it's not good, 78-year-old man running a chemical company is coming in and making footballing decisions. He should stay away.
So now that we asked that question, and now looking at the chat, you're starting to see both sides, right? You're starting to see exactly what I saw in the halftime, where you have intelligent people on both sides. I'm not saying somebody's right and somebody's wrong. I think there's intelligent people on both sides. Some saying get rid of Amorim. We need to, it's time to move on. It's time to get someone else. And then you have some people saying stick to his methods and stick to the plan and change the team, revamp the team. It's a hard decision to make. It is. It really is. And that's why I believe the people in charge have to make a decision and not waver. I think that's what we did wrong in the old days. In the old days, we would get Louis van Gaal and then completely change the style to Jose Mourinho, completely change the style with Ollie, with, a high pressing like Ralph Rangnick, to counter-attacking. I don't even know what to call Erik ten Hag style, because he kept changing it just for the players every day.
Yeah, I think Ten Hag lost his ways after a while. Bandulu comes in and asks a question. After 2 months, players should know how to play. These are pro footballers. And I think a lot of fans are frustrated because they feel that they should be able to adapt to a new manager and his requirements of how he wants to play, but apparently not.
It's tough, man. I really wish he came in the beginning of the summer so we can really, see what he would have done if he had a whole preseason. And I'm scared about this next summer. I'll be honest with you, because we have too many plane rides. We have too much traveling planned for this coming summer. We're going to Asia and America.
Yeah.
And America is huge. You already don't get to train that much when you come to America, because if you have one game in New York and another game in California, that's like going from London to Japan.
Yeah, it's a flying circus all over again. And we heard even a couple of seasons ago, Ericsson came out and was kind of critical. Same with Varane, because they didn't feel that they had the proper preseason because they were living in airplanes. They had 72 hours in those 3 weeks sitting on airplanes.
I promise you it's going to be the same this coming summer. It's even worse.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go Asia and America. It's going to be even worse. I feel
not to mention the time zones difference, because you need sleep, rest, recover, all of this.
I feel bad for Amorim. I really do. I think it's going to be a bad. And then the other thing you guys can't forget, or everybody can't forget, is that we are probably not going to be able to buy anybody until after July. Because of the new fiscal year. The financial fiscal year starts on July 1st. So he's going to get his new players a little bit late in the window, as we always do.
As always, yeah.
As always. And then they're going to come in and have to travel back and forth from America to Asia. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm going back to the poll in the chat. Do you believe Amorim can turn this around? I will leave it for a couple of more minutes, but now it's 43% believe that Amorim can turn this around, and 57% of you guys says no. You don't believe Amorim can turn this around. So it's a little bit 50-50. So get your votes in on the poll. I wanna show you the ending of the game. I have a couple of more clips before we wrap it up.
Okay.
It's this one. When Amorim made the subs, Garnacho came on. You were a little bit critical because Dorgu was inside and Garnacho was outside. It's not the Amorim way, but in this clip you could see clearly that the Dorgu is operating in the number 10 role, dropping down to receive the ball. And actually this one I'm not. I think they did okay. The ball goes out to Garnacho, who's on the outside, plays pass into Dorgu, who turns with the ball and runs with the ball and try to carry it into the zone. It's a difficult job, but at least he gives us a free kick. And this free kick was vital for us. We know that Bruno scored on this one. So what's your thoughts?
One more time. Show it to me one more time so I can really.
Yeah. The ball goes out from the Ligt to Garnacho, who is on the outside. Dorgu receives the ball and carries it from the inside and gets a vital free kick. We scored on that goal, on that free kick.
Yeah, so that's exactly what Garnacho should be doing. What I mean by that is that's where Garnacho should be playing, and that's where Garnacho should be getting that foul, right? So Dorgu's playing inside where Garnacho should be playing, and this is exactly what Garnacho should be doing. And the reason why that's important, some people might think, who cares who's inside and who's outside? The reason why that's important is because in other times of the game, that run's not going to be there, but the outside run towards the corner flag is going to be there.
Yeah.
And when you're doing it the way they're doing it right now, the run for the wing back to go in and then back out is a much longer run, and it's that'll never happen.
But do you think, like, we could, as you see here, Dorgu actually understands the number 10 role? Do you think he could be used?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because
when you look at this,
like Dorgu a lot.
Kind of good.
Yeah, I actually like Dorgu a lot. He really knows how to use his body to shield the ball, which is something you're going to see right here. He really knows right there. He's shielding the ball and getting his body in the way. Yes, I think Dorgu's one of those players that you could probably play in a number of different positions. He can play right, left, and centrally, as he's showing you there. He can play centrally or out wide. But
again, for this to work, could we utilize Garnacho as the wing back and Dorgu as the number 10 and actually go with it from the get-go?
Okay, so that's a good question. Okay, I don't know, because Erik ten Hag used to prefer putting Antony at wing back, even though Antony used to throw his hands up and say, "I don't want to be a wing back." And Amorim has never tried Garnacho as a wing back, so I don't know what both those managers saw that makes them think that Garnacho is not going to be effective as a wing back. Do you know? I don't know.
It has to come down to physicality, I think, because when you're a wing back, you have to tuck into the back four sometimes and be able to defend the back post. I think that's the biggest problem when you have like small dribbler wingers. But
they'll let Antony or Ahmad play. You know, like Amorim has no problem letting Ahmad play as wing back. So I don't know if it's.
But Ahmad is more physical. He's more balanced. He's stronger. You know, and
he is aggressive. He is. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But I would like to try it at least.
I would too. I would. I kind of do want to see it too. Yeah. And then Dorgu gets to play as a inside 10 up front.
Yeah.
That would be different.
And I think we need more physicality also up front. People who know how to shield the ball, hold up the ball, to give ourselves a little bit of breather. You know, to take that. To put your body on the line and get a free kick. I think that's what we're missing from a lot of these forward players of ours. This is the second goal. It's the Ugarte goal. So let's go through it. Yep, it's ready. So the ball comes in from Bruno on the free kick that we just saw. Ugarte wins the second ball and boom, scores. I don't know. There's not much to say about this, but I think it's a good goal. I think we make it difficult, and I think Bruno hits it well.
Yeah. I think we did get a little bit lucky, because if Bruno hit it even better, we would have been offside. Right.
Yeah.
We got lucky that it was a little short, and Everton defender headed it out for Ugarte to score. Because if it would have got all the way to Maguire, I think Maguire was offside.
Yeah. And now we are at the dying minutes of the game. Things were starting to be a little bit more hectic. Everton could have won it. They had a big chance on a header from Beto on this one. So here you see
Pay attention to Maguire here. This is where I'm talking about, like, agility. He never leaves his feet on this one. Beto gets in the air way earlier than Maguire.
The cross comes from Ashley Young.
See how early? Play that again and look at how early Beto jumps compared to when Maguire finally leaves the ground.
Yeah.
That's agility. That's what we call agility. And we don't have enough agile players.
But then again, Beto has like the step up before he jumps, and Maguire is backing. So it's hard to say. But I would say, as a defender, you should be more aware and be aware of the man, and maybe go and what do you call it?
If you look at that photo right there, Maguire has the positional advantage.
Yeah.
For this ball, Maguire has the positional advantage. This is where you need young, springy legs.
Yeah, Maguire is a little bit heavy. Feels like he's a little bit heavy, but agile. Yeah, that's probably the right word to call. So Everton, they had good chances at the end of the game. They could have won it, and also did we. I will share the next clip. Now we are in the 90th minute of the game. See, yep, you're here. Yes. It's Ugarte actually in the wide areas. I don't know if it's Dallo here. Now we lost our formation fully. Second ball, Ugarte is aggressive, wins the ball. Should probably be in a free kick, because it was a handball at least on Ugarte, and the cross comes in from Dallo here to Garnacho, who hits it. Bruno has another chance again. Goes right, goes left, gets the defenders guessing. And he had a good shot, but Pickford were on the end of it, and saved it. So the game opened up. It got more hectic in the dying minutes, and then this happened. So I just want to take it back. So before we see, now we are in the 93rd minute of the game. There's a duel. Maguire heads it out. And here, look at Bruno. What is Bruno thinking? A terrible ball. I don't know what to say. Lenny Yoro tries to defend. Everton gets the ball back. It's where he... Idrissa Gueye, and he takes a shot. Save from Onana, but again gives a rebound into the danger area. As a goalkeeper in this instance, you should try to get it away, push the ball away from the goal in this area, because we can't let it bounce into the danger area. So we see this a lot from Onana, and and there you see Ashley Young falling over. So it was in the dying minutes. Everything was hectic. So, what do you think on the VAR decision? Was it the right decision?
Yeah, because the foul that it should have been called is the one when the Ligt pulled his shirt right here.
Yeah, you see,
Before it was actually way before that, and he took 2 steps after that, and then just launched himself face first into the ground, right there.
Yeah.
That is the definition of a dive.
Yes. Look at him. But I was kind of worried because for me, there were some shirt pulling.
Yeah.
And you know, as a referee, if they wanted to protect the referee from making the wrong decision and getting called out, they could have stuck with it and said, yes,
if
there was
he would
shirt
have
pulling.
fell to
It's a
his
penalty.
knees, I don't think they would have changed the call. If he would have just fell to his knees and then down, instead of the whole dive with his feet up in the air, they probably wouldn't have changed the call. But for his feet to go there, a shirt pull can't do that. There's no, you can go pull your friend's shirt all day long. His feet aren't going to go up in the air and his face is not going to go down in the ground.
Yeah.
Once he did that, and he did it after taking 2 steps, you can't. You have to fall to your knees as soon as the shirt is pulled. Don't take 2 steps. Just fall to your knees, and then look at the ref and go, "What the hell?" You know what I mean?
I know. And but for me, I think it was the right decision. I agree. But I was worried. I was worried right away. I was worried because I don't trust the referees, especially when it comes to the VAR room.
I was worried too. Well, I was actually pissed that the actual ref, I forgot his name, that the actual ref called it so fast and quick, as if he was very sure that it was, a penalty. I would have much rather he took a second or two and then call it. I would have been like, okay, he's not determined to give a penalty. As soon as even when VAR called him to go look at the TV, I was worried that he seemed determined that was a penalty, so I didn't think he would overturn it.
But when you look at the referee's position on the dive, I don't know, he doesn't have a clear. You see here the referee, his angle. It's not a clear angle for him to see actually what's going on, because he's blocked by Maguire here and the Ligt at the same time.
Yeah.
So maybe he was fooled by the dive and felt that it was an foul going on. So again, but you see he was really quick and blowing his whistle. But that's why we have VAR, to take away errors like that. But I don't trust VAR. That's just my final thoughts. Trevor Wade comes in and say Jarvis Keat Hacker would break this dive down to a T.
I will always, of course, 100%. I would agree with the fact that the Premier League has better football than, say, the MLS. Yeah. But one thing that I actually believe is referees in the MLS are better than the referees in the Premier League.
Yes. Do you have automated offsides in the MLS?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah, I'm pretty. What do you mean by automate? Like, we have the same thing that they have in the Premier League. We don't have like technology. It would be a VAR check with the lines and everything.
Okay. So you don't have automated offsides?
No, not
yet.
Because
when we play in Europe, or you see in the Euros, for example, you have automated offsides. You get the still pictures perfectly, everything, graphics.
Oh, I don't know, actually. I only watched the LA Galaxy play, so I haven't even paid attention to that, to be honest with you.
Okay. Is Beckham still playing?
No. No, but when Beckham was playing, I was a season ticket holder. I was there every single game during those years. Those were fun to watch.
Yes, Beckham, he was brilliant. And I think David Beckham at his days would have been brilliant in this Amorims system as the right wing back.
Yeah, actually, that's actually a very good point.
For me,
he would have been
amazing.
Love
to see him.
Yeah, you mean in his prime? Yeah, in his prime.
In his prime, prime.
Yeah, because people underestimate Beckham's stamina. Yeah, he wasn't the fastest, but that guy could run for 3 days before he got tired.
And And he could defend. He could attack.
He was a
could take
feisty
on man,
defender. He was a
yes.
feisty defender. He had no problem leaving his foot in.
David Beckham, yes. And I always had respect for David Beckham. He took on the yellow and green and gold scarf, and actually he was one of the only ones of the 92 who were actively protesting against the Glazers at that time. And he knew what he was doing when he picked up that scarf. So for me, I have always huge respect for David Beckham. I want to go back to the poll before we wrap up the show. Let's see. I saw Lavani coming in. Big up Lavani coming in and say, no, I thought that's not this one. It was this one. I voted no for the poll. I don't believe Amorim can turn this around. So the poll says now it's actually 50-50. So,
and that's where I thought it would be. And that just makes sense. And I'm telling you, I believe there's intelligent people on both sides. I don't think anyone can be right or wrong here. It's just a bad circumstance the manager's in. And you could either choose to judge him now or wait to see what he's like when he gets players that he needs. And neither one of those is wrong.
No, that's true. That's true. And we don't know the future. And it's I'm just asking what you guys believe. So that's fair. And while we brought this up, now it's 53% yes. So the majority of you believe that Amorim can turn this around. So I will close the poll, 53-47. And I got this comment from Trevor Wade. They say, don't forget the king, Robbie Keane at LA Galaxy. Remember Robbie Keane?
Awesome. Robbie Keane was awesome. He was just here like not too long ago. Last season, he came to visit because we made it to the finals. We made it to the champ. We won the championship. So he came to the championship game. Great guy. Amazing guy.
Yeah,
I got a chance when I was a season ticket holder.
Meeting him?
Yeah. So when I was a season ticket holder, so the season ticket holders, this is a cool thing. We get a dinner night towards the end of the season where all the players come to the same, which is the restaurant in the stadium, and they sit at tables. They come around to your table. You get to talk to them for a good 10, 15, 20 minutes at your table. So it's like it's just me and my friends and Beckham, Keane, they would take turns coming to your table. And chatting with you for a little bit. Very, very cool experience. It's really nice to. American sports have a lot of bad things in them, but they also have a lot of good things in them.
They appreciate at least their
fans.
customers.
Yeah, the fans are treated right, but we pay a lot for tickets, man. Like the stories I hear about Europeans and like how cheap it is to get a season ticket and stuff like that. And I know that football's for the fans and it needs to be affordable. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is every time I go to a game, I pay a lot more.
How much was the season ticket price for LA Galaxy?
So if you're sitting behind the goal, about 16 to 8 to 20 rows up, that's about $1,200 a year. If you're sitting in the middle of the field, but not in the premier side. So one side will be called premier, where you get like a waiter. You don't have to like go get food. They'll bring it to you. So the premier side is double the price as the other side. The other side to sit in the middle is somewhere around $3,000 to $5,000, depending on how nice the seat is, like how close to the field it is. And then the other side is double that. So it'll be like $4,000 to $8,000 on the other side.
Well, the prices are pretty high, I would say. So
for LA Galaxy, remember that. That's
Galaxy.
LA Galaxy. Like, it's not great football. You know what I mean?
But they had a couple of good players, like as we mentioned, Robbie Keane and Beckham.
Those years were amazing. Those years were amazing. You actually saw real football being played. With Landon Donovan, Robbie Keane, David Beckham, Juninho. And then I can name some players you guys probably never heard of, like Omar Gonzalez, AJ De La Garza. These guys really knew how to play. And then after Landon retired and everybody else left, like Robbie left, Beckham left, it got really bad. It was really bad football. I couldn't keep going to the games. It was not good.
No, okay.
But it's good again now. They're playing really well now.
How would you classify the MSL compared to
MLS?
MLS to let's say Premier League? Is it championship level or League One or?
I don't watch Championship or League One, so I can classify it as telling you somewhere like the Portuguese league.
Okay.
Because I watch the Portuguese league, so I understand the Portuguese league. So somewhere around that.
Okay.
A little like the best teams in the Portuguese league are way better than the best teams in the MLS league. But after the top three, so after Sporting, Porto, and Benfica, the rest of the teams is kind of like MLS.
MLS. Well, I never watch MLS. You know, it's in the middle of the night. I have to give it to you for turning up at 4 a.m. in the morning to watch Man United. You know, a lot of fans don't realize the effort all the abroad fans put in to watch this club, and you know, I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah, thanks, man. Like me, my friends, anybody who's a Manchester United fan out here in California, I mean, this is normal for us. We go to bed early on Fridays. We wake up at 4 a.m. to watch our team, and thank God we didn't lose today. I am not a happy person right now because of that game, but I'm also not completely angry. It hasn't ruined my day, right? It could have ended 2-0, and I would have been a very hard person to get along with for the rest of the day.
Yeah, at least we turned it around. Yes. Thank you, Samix. It's been a brilliant show. I'm super happy that you could help out. Stu will be back on Monday. We will do Jarvis's Corner 9 p.m. as usual. Panel show. So guys, stick around and tune in on Monday. It's been a brilliant chat today. Alien Tenno, Lavani, Dave 147. Trevor Wade with all these brilliant comments, and lovely Lola coming in. Alan, you know who you are. Jack Whelan, thank you for your engagement, all your comments, the poll, and all the likes. We are currently on 54 likes, so if you haven't smashed a like, it's your last chance. And if you're watching this in a rerun, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. We are aiming for 1,000 subscribers and to get fully monetized. So I'm hoping we will get there in time. So it will be good. So everybody, thank you for tuning in, and leave a comment in the non-live section after the show. Tell me who was your man of the match. That will be brilliant. So everybody, thank you for tuning in, and Samix, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And by the way, tell the chat and the people about your channel. Just a quick promo.
My channel is called Samix Football, just like the name over there. I've been doing it for just over a year now. Go to the channel, check out a video or two. If you like it, subscribe. I don't really try to push that hard.
No, but you should. You should. This is the knowledge of this chat is really high, and people really like tactical
I don't
stuff.
do live videos like Jarvis. I'm just learning now. It's only been 2 days that I've been doing live videos, and both times with Jarvis actually. So go to my channel. Everything's edited. I show footage like we did in here, and I actually because I edit, so I sit there and I draw the circles and the lines to help people understand what I see. And you may or may not agree with me, and leave it in the comments. And I am not shy about talking to everybody and reading comments. And if I'm proven wrong, I'm also not shy about admitting I was wrong. So come check out the channel, guys. Thank you.
Brilliant. So guys, girls, go subscribe to Samix Football. That's fantastic. So everybody, thank you for tuning in, and I wish you a good weekend, and we will see you on Monday. Have a good one. Bye-bye.